fried chicken. But that's so fat and greasy and so many calories. If I ate such disgusting food like that, I'll be disgusting myself.
151 calories is a narrative immersive experience, where people can experience some of the struggles that people with eating disorders go through in their daily lives. Our experience is particularly focused on the eating disorder anorexia. People with anorexia tend to show signs of the lack of consumption of food.
I can't eat that. That's way too many calories.
And the intense fear of weight gaining.
What to do? Should I just eat or somehow hide the food away?
Our project goal is to allow more people to understand some of the experience that these people face and have more awareness about the other negative factors that result from eating disorders. Our purpose is to show not only the commonly known themes about anorexia, such as the consumption of food, but also the social and psychological consequences that come along, such as isolation from family and friends.
Hey Hannah, you haven't been coming back to school lately, so I thought I would come by and see how you're doing. Oh wow, you look so thin and pale. Are you alright?
And constant self-hate.
I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. Look at those thighs. No wonder I don't look like those people in the magazines.
The player will be playing as a person with an eating disorder and follow through a series of daily activities that the player will go through and experience. When they first approach our physical installation, the player is bombarded by images of slim people and dieting taglines to keep not only the images but the pressure of the ideal body image inside the player's mind. When they first enter the room, they will see a mirror with writing and a scale under it. This prepares them when they are first to arrive in our virtual environment. They will also arrive to see a similar scene. In terms of interaction control, to interact with the items inside the environment, the player is to gaze at the icons and confirm by pressing a button above the interactive item. Our experience relies on a lot of animation and narrative that goes along with the interactions to convey the life experience of the main character. To create this experience, our project focuses on generating an imaginative, immersive experience by using surreal graphics and strong narrative, allowing the player to use their imagination and to input their own interpretations. To support the development of empathy between the player and the character, we use the support of the Oculus head-mounted display to create the shared body repetition experience. It was important to us for the player to have a physical body and the ability to hear the main character's voice as their own voice.
These are my favorite posters. They help me keep motivated and keep me in control. Look at them. They're all so thin and skinny and happy.
This will allow less frictions for the player to identify as the character, which will support better understanding plus empathy between the two. One of the things we asked our players was how was the overall immersion, and what helped them to be immersed. A couple of players said the narration of the main character and making it sound like it came from the character really make them emerge or identify as the main character themselves. To some, the surreal environment and objects such as posters, the fridge, really added the impression that it was close to reality. When asked what may have broke their immersion, some male players found it extremely hard to identify themselves as the main character when they saw themselves in a female body or short height perspectives. There were also some latencies at times, which broke the immersion. There was also some glitches, such as like the door animation going through the player, which made the player realize that it wasn't real. When asked what interactions the players liked most or what was memorable, some interactions such as a mirror or food were commonly mentioned. Some memorable parts was the sudden encounter with the friend AI and interacting them to proceed with the story. The exercising interaction had mixed reviews of the player. Some thought the animation had very cool first impression, and the alternated arms were a very cool and awe factor. While some said the controls were tricky, and the icons weren't very clear on how to interact with them. Also, due to some needed fine-tuning, the animations for the lifting weights were hitting too close to people's faces. When asked about what interpretations players conceived based on their recent gameplay, one of our players felt that some of the food items, such as the chicken, looked very appetizing, and felt the character's sense of self-control after not being able to eat anything. Some players said that the game was too short to really get interpretation, and wished that the narration would be a little bit longer. Another player said that some of the self-hate narratives were way too strong at first. After explaining what were the two themes that we were trying to convey, which was isolation and self-hate, it helped the players to connect the dots from what they recently just experienced in the game. Most never thought about these matters and found themselves to understand something new about people suffering from anorexia. We thank you for coming to visit us.